Development, or HUD, grants into a single document. The grants covered are the Community Development Block Grant, which is CDBG, just to get all of our terminology and acronyms down, the Home Investment Partnerships, also referred to as HOME, the Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG, and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, or HOPWA. As a condition of receiving these federal grant dollars, the city is required by the feds to submit a 5-year consolidated plan with an annual plan to allocate funding submitted in each of the program years. This 2023 action plan is the 4th year of the 2020 to 2024 consolidated plan. These dollars represent important investments in our neighborhoods that focus on housing, development, and infrastructure for low to moderate income households. This hearing and the public comment period are opportunities to let us know how these grants can have the greatest impact in our neighborhoods. The public comment period remains open until November 28th. The plan can be viewed at columbus.gov/finance under the Grants Management section, and comments can be submitted to grantsmgmt@columbus.gov. Our finance department here at the City of Columbus has been working tirelessly with all of the departments and our community partners on putting forth a really excellent annual action plan that will be the subject of this hearing. I want to thank them, and without further ado, turn it over to our finance team. We will first hear an overview from Finance Deputy Director Chris Long before moving into presentations from community organizations and departments who manage these grants. So with that, I will turn it over to Deputy Director Long first.
Well, first off, President Pro Tem Brown, thank you for this opportunity to present the 2023 HUD Action Plan to you for your consideration and for councils as well. As you mentioned, our goal for tonight is to provide you with an overview of the 2023 HUD Action Plan for both your benefit and councils and the community at large. As you mentioned, this will constitute a range of federal HUD programs, CDBG, HOPWA, HOME, ESG, as you mentioned. We're proposing a plan that's $18.7 million in totality, but it is composed of $10.1 million of CDBG proceeds, $2.3 million of HOPWA proceeds, $5.7 million of HOME proceeds, and $600,000 of ESG proceeds. As you mentioned, this plan does conform with the city's 2020 to 2024 consolidated plan, which is, as you stated, outlines the city's strategic goals for HUD funds. 2023 HUD allocations are not yet finalized, but these amounts are based on the city's anticipated awards as well as anticipated carryover funds from prior years. Future legislation will, of course, be advanced once we know what those final award amounts are. Tonight, you will hear from our external community partners as well as internal city agencies about their respective programs. And in closing, I would just like to thank Director Kathy Owens for her guidance and leadership during this whole process. Certainly your guidance and assistance as well. And of course, Lucy McMahon and the entire grants team for the incredible work that they put in on this entire process. So with that, I'll actually turn things over to Lucy, who will provide a more detailed explanation of that. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kathy Owens, Director of the City of Columbus Department of Finance and Management. Hi, I am Kathy Owens, Director of the City of Columbus Department of Finance and Management. Each year, the city's grants management team administers funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, including the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership Program, Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, and the Emergency Solutions Grant. Through these HUD grants, the city promotes integrated approaches that create and improve affordable housing, enhance quality of life for Columbus residents, and generate economic opportunities for low to moderate income people in the neighborhoods of Columbus most in need, including Linden, the neighborhood I grew up in. The City of Columbus Department of Finance and Management is excited to highlight 5 HUD-funded community development projects driving positive change in Columbus. The city's grants management section works together with city staff across departments and community partners to cultivate these projects with the collective goal of revitalizing neighborhoods and to ensure equitable access to housing and supportive services for all citizens of Columbus.
The Hilltop Early Learning Center is a pre-kindergarten center currently being constructed by the city, which will provide free childcare and education for families in the Hilltop.
This will be the main front entrance, so the kids will walk in here every day. This will be a reception area. There will be a reception desk back there. We'll have doors here that they'll be buzzed in, and this will be the main entrance into the building. An industrial professional chef's kitchen here. There will be a full cafeteria. The cafeteria is right through there.
The center will also include a state-of-the-art, full-service healthcare facility operated by Nationwide Children's Hospital, an on-site food pantry, and counseling services available to the entire Hilltop community, no matter whether or not they have a child enrolled at the center. The City of Columbus is investing over $20 million in the project's construction, with $1.78 million contributed from CDBG for the design services associated with the center. Warner Junction is an affordable housing complex in the Franklinton neighborhood.
We didn't start marketing this project until about a month ago. And since that time, we got over 800 applicants for the units and will be fully leased the day we open. So the need for more affordable housing is very evident.
Consisting of 40 1- and 2-bedroom units, an on-site community space, fitness room, and healthcare space. Warner Junction will be HUD-defined, affordable for incomes between 50% and 70% of the area median income for the next 30 years.
We did a blue roof on this project, which, as far as I know, is the only one that's been designed like that in Columbus. As for stormwater management. So typically you have all your stormwater in the ground, and as it rains, it slowly collects there and then drains into the system. To save a significant amount of time and money, we designed a blue roof where the water is actually retained on the roof intentionally and then drains slowly from there into the storm sewer. That was a significant time-saving design, as well as, I want to say it was like $300,000 to $400,000 of civil and site work that we avoided by doing that.
The Home Investment Partnership Program provided $400,000 for the construction of the complex. The Linden Fresh Market and Charitable Pharmacy provides free, nutritious, fresh food and pharmacy services to the Linden community, which previously had limited access to healthy food choices.
So we purchased the building for about a little less than $300,000 in 2017. And then the Department of Neighborhood said, hey, we have some funding that we could do, some federal funding. And so the city stepped in, the Department of Neighborhoods, and they gave us about $1.5 million towards the building.
The market also offers free health and wellness classes, patient medication counseling, and pharmaceutical services. $1.5 million in CDBG funds contributed to the rehabilitation of a shuttered corner store. The Linden Early Childhood Playground is dedicated to children ages 2 to 5 to accommodate the child care facility within the Linden Park Recreation Center.
We have access for our camp if we have younger campers. But if we're doing programming, like for example, our gymnastics class, that last 5 minutes that they want to come out and play, we're able to get them over here and play, so it's pretty neat. But there's a lot of components to it where kids are able to learn music. They can pull the tricycles out, ride the tricycle track. There's a lot of shapes and things of that nature. A lot of working on motor sensory skills, all type of good stuff.
The installation of the playground was funded with more than $360,000 from CDBG. The South End Cafe will offer affordable, healthy meals in a neighborhood where access to healthy foods is limited and will provide jobs to individuals experiencing barriers in finding employment.
The reason that we wanted to do this was to give employment opportunities for people who have been out of the workforce for an extended period of time and who are having difficulty re-entering it, especially people who have been previously incarcerated. So the idea is they'll come work for us part-time or full-time for 6 months a year, and then we'll help them transition that into full-time career track employment with another employer such as Children's Hospital.
Thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of these projects. We look forward to continuing to work alongside you on future transformational HUD-funded projects in our vibrant neighborhoods throughout Columbus.
Before you keep going, I want to acknowledge Vice Chair Nick Bankston, who is here, and thank him for joining in the process of reviewing this annual action plan, which, as you know, is very important to our city. So thank you. Sure. Back to you, Lucy.
So I just want to say thank you to Alex Brown from CTV for putting that together. I love that video, and thanks to everybody in the video and who worked on all those awesome projects. The first 2023 HUD program on the agenda is the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG. The estimated CDBG budget for 2023 is $10,143,940. The estimated total budget includes program income and unspent previous year's funding. This is the second year that Grants Management has accepted applications for external partners for CDBG funding. In total, we actually received over $25 million in project proposals. 10 external organizations' projects are included in the draft annual action plan. I want to thank all of these organizations that are here with me today for being here, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, but also just for all of the collaboration thus far, and really looking forward to seeing what you guys do this year. I also want to thank the Department of Public Service, Recreation and Parks Department, and the Department of Development. Thank you to Deputy Director Steve Winsel, Deputy Director Hannah Jones, Morgan Wade, Elaine Hosteller, Adam Wheeler, everyone else from Recreation and Parks. Without you all, we can't spend these CDBG dollars on these impactful programs in the city of Columbus. The first 2023 CDBG project included in the draft action plan is fair housing. With an estimated budget of $200,000, we'll use CDBG funding for activities that will affirmatively further fair housing in Columbus in 2023. Grants Management has published a competitive grants application for fair housing projects. Applications for fair housing grants are due on November 18th. If you have any questions about the Fair Housing Grant application, please email Grants Management. Next, the action plan's housing repair and homeowner assistance project includes 3 activities with an estimated combined budget of $910,000. The budget includes $250,000 for the Department of Development's Chores Program. The Housing Division manages subrecipient agreements with nonprofits for this minor home repair program. The Housing Repair and Homeowner Assistance Project budget also includes $360,000 for Grants Management to award funding to external agencies for homeowner roof repair programs. The Housing Repair and Homeowner Assistance Project budget also includes $300,000 for Renew Homes, Ohio, for a home maintenance program. Janine Parham is here to talk about her work that she plans to do in 2023 with this funding. Jane?
Thank you. There we go. Hello, I'd like to thank everybody from the members of the Columbus City Council and the Community Development Block Grant for helping us funding with Renew Homes. I am Janine Parham, the CEO of Renew Homes Ohio, and we are truly grateful to be able to help homeowners in our community. Low-income homeowners in Columbus, Ohio face a variety of obstacles to preserving home ownership in their homes and being able to use that investment to build intergenerational wealth in their families. It is more cost-effective to assist homeowners in preservation than relocation. Renew Homes Ohio has identified an additional predatory practice that it will help seek to eliminate with this grant. Many low-income homeowners struggle to afford routine maintenance costs like cutting grass, fixing gutters, external painting, and broken windows. These issues can be relatively inexpensive to fix, but nevertheless can lead to city code violations where they go unaddressed. Navigating Franklin County Environmental Court can be intimidating for low-income homeowners. Radhika Moore and myself, the principal staff for Renew Homes Ohio, have witnessed low-income communities consistently being taken advantage of, creating fears by threatening homeowners that they are in danger of losing their home or offering to quickly purchase them at a below market rate for minor home repairs. Many homeowners that agree to those offers not only lose their home, but they also lose a significant amount of values to their properties, not to mention the value for their children in the future. Renew Homes Ohio's objective is to helping at least 30 to 50 homeowners in these communities in 2023 by providing free home maintenance services to low-income Columbus residents who are unable to afford such services and who have reached the city code violation or are in danger of receiving one. And again, we'd like to thank you for helping provide funding to assist Renew Homes Ohio achieve all our obligations. Thank you again.
The next project budget is for housing and family services. The project's total budget estimate is $436,500 and includes $120,000 for the Department of Development's Housing Division to award nonprofits funding for housing counseling services. The Housing and Family Services budget also includes funding for ModCon Living. Amy Flynn is here to talk about how the organization plans to utilize the funding.
Hello, and thank you. So ModCon Living is very appreciative and excited to receive this award. We have a tool lending library that, interestingly enough, was taken over from the city of Columbus back in 2004, and we've been operating it since. And we found it to be a very important resource for low-income homeowners throughout the city of Columbus. We provide over 4,800 hand and power tools available to our members to borrow as they need for DIY projects. This is an important resource because oftentimes, just as you mentioned, Janine, it's low-income homeowners just being able to rent a tool that they might need, or certainly hire a contractor to complete home repairs is just out of reach. So the tool lending library provides those tools at no cost for those homeowners. We also have a lot of gardening tools, so a lot of our homeowners utilize our gardening tools as well to have put in their gardens, and helps address food insecurity in some of our poorer neighborhoods. So we're very excited and blessed to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Next, Melissa Lenz is also here from the Legal Aid Society to discuss the organization's 2023 Housing Conditions Project.
President Pro Tem Brown and Councilmember Bankston, thank you for this opportunity to share our work. We appreciate that you are taking the time to hear about these important issues in our community. My name is Melissa Lenz, and I am the supervising attorney of the housing team at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, thank you. I started at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus as a law clerk in 2016 on our conditions project, and now I supervise this project. Every tenant in Columbus has the right to safe conditions in their home, regardless of what neighborhood they live in or the amount of the rent that they pay. Legal aid began our conditions project when we realized that people were not successful in navigating the rent escrow process alone. While the process to escrow rent and thus ask a landlord to have a court order the landlord to make repairs in Ohio is specifically outlined in the landlord-tenant statute, it is not always intuitive or easy to follow that process. For example, I have spoken to dozens and dozens of people who do not know that the first step to get a landlord to make repairs is to ask that landlord in writing for those repairs. I will talk to people who have said that the landlord has been in their home and has seen the issues with their own eyes, and I have to unfortunately inform them that that's not enough and that they have to start with writing a letter or an email to the landlord, because Ohio law specifically requires written notice before they can start rent escrow. Just this year alone, the Conditions Project at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus has served more than 220 tenants in Columbus. Because of the CDBG funding you gave us last year, we were able to represent one client in the rent escrow case to ensure that the landlord made repairs to make their stove functional and to eradicate pests. She was then able to sign a new lease agreement with the landlord. These repair efforts don't just help our present clients, but if the client moves, the repairs then can benefit future tenants. So thank you for funding this project and helping our neighbors live in safe spaces.
Ashley Montana from Franklinton Development Association will speak next about the organization's Financial Life Skills Program.
Can you hear me? Thank you, council members, for this opportunity. My name is Ashley Montana, and I'm the Community Engagement Director at Franklinton Development Association, or FDA. The program funded is our Financial Life Skills Program, which launched in 2018 to help community members better navigate the complex worlds of housing and finances. Approximately 70% make less than $20,000 for their household income. We recently celebrated our 323rd graduate and have maintained a graduation rate of nearly 90%, even while shifting to virtual classes during the COVID-19 pandemic. The 12-hour program is broken up into 6 classes that review the participants' relationship with money, budgeting, banking, credits, loans and debt management, job training and entrepreneurship, and then taxes and risk management. Homework is assigned each week, as well as creating a resume at the end of the program. We connect participants with other organizations and resources in the neighborhood through guest speakers and handouts. The guest speakers include organizations such as the Legal Aid Society of Columbus, which addresses tenant rights and other legal issues, ECDI, which addresses starting a business, Homes on the Hill, which addresses becoming a homeowner. Upon completion of the program, all participants receive a financial incentive of $252. The program utilizes the curriculum provided by the National Financial Educators Council. The classes are taught by myself, and I also manage the program's planning, outreach, marketing, and scheduling and implementation. The CDBG funding will allow us to serve an additional 90 graduates, will bring our total number served to 120 in 2023. The additional funding will also allow us to hire an additional person, which will be responsible for enrolling participants, sending reminders, scheduling guest speakers, and eventually teaching the program. This will allow me to focus on other areas of my role and increase the organization's overall capacity by allowing our 2-person organization to hire a new staff person. Thank you again for this assistance.
The 2023 Draft Annual Action Plan includes $723,440 for the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department. This funding will be used to continue to provide youth programming through the Capital Kids program and fitness camps that the department offers citywide at recreational facilities. The next bucket of funding for this 2023 CDBG program is for nonprofit facility upgrades and acquisition. Finance and management received a variety and many proposals from nonprofit partners for assistance to improve spaces they occupy. The total estimated budget for nonprofit facility upgrades and acquisition is $4,280,000. The budget includes funding for improvements to the city's Reeb Avenue Center, which houses community partners on the city's south side, as well as funding to address facility needs for 5 external community organizations. First, Danella Hicks from All That is here to discuss the organization's facility improvement needs at the All That Center of Excellence on East Livingston Avenue.
Good afternoon, President Pro Tem Brown and other council members. I'd like to say thank you, and thank you to all of you, all the others in the room. My name is Danella Hicks, and I'm the founder and executive director of All That, Teens Hopeful About Tomorrow. We've been serving teens on the east side of Columbus since 2010. We provide services, we provide academic assistance for students who attend Independence, Walnut Ridge, and other charter schools in the 43227 and 43232 zip codes. These are students who are at risk of not graduating. Many of them are involved in violent activity. They're disengaged from school. And so we really want to help them stay engaged so that they can graduate from high school. We provide career exposure. So we take them into the local community and show them what college and trade schools would look like. We partner with Columbus Health Department and also with Center for Family Safety and Healing so that we can do drug and alcohol prevention and violence prevention programming. This project allows us to renovate the facility, the Shady Lane Presbyterian Church we purchased in the fall of 2020. It's an older facility that needs a lot of work, and so this will allow us to renovate the building, to have secure doors, windows, to pave the parking lot and things like that, so that we can further help teens in our community. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate the funding.
Next, Barb Ebright will detail the facility improvements needed at Star House, located near Cleveland and Fifth Avenues.
Thank you, President. Excuse me. Thank you, President Pro Tem Brown, for allowing Star House to speak today. Star House is deeply grateful for the support we've received, past and present, from the City of Columbus to support our mission. Thank you for the continuing to join us in lifting youth out of homelessness and into a community of hope. We appreciate the opportunity to apply for the 2023 Community Development Block Grant Program Award. Star House operates Central Ohio's only drop-in center for youth ages 14 to 24 who are experiencing homelessness. We have provided crucial services to thousands of young people since 2006, offering immediate access to safety, basic needs, and crucial stabilizing resources 24/7, 365 days a year. So far this year, we have served more than 1,000 individual youth at our drop-in center. A gift of $200,000 from the City of Columbus will be dedicated to the structural renovation of our drop-in center's main entrance. While there are several emergency exits at Star House, our facility currently has one door through which all guests, staff, volunteers, and service partners enter and exit. Through conversations with an architect advisor, we have confirmed that this must be reconfigured to expand our main entrance given the constant flow of foot traffic. On any given day, Star House's drop-in center serves roughly 100 youth, employs more than 40 team members, and hosts a large groups of volunteers and social service partners. Currently, the vestibule's reception area can only accommodate one person at a time. This results in a bottleneck effect as individuals must wait to enter and exit the building. The current structure also presents a security concern, as those exiting the building could inadvertently grant entrance to an unapproved visitor. Support from the CDBG program will enable Star House to ensure the main entrance to the center is modified for optimal safety and flow of all guests. Thank you again for the opportunity to share this need with you.
Austin Hill from The Refuge is here to present about their housing facility upgrades CDBG project on the Hilltop.
President Pro Tem Brown, Councilmember Bankston, good to see you back there. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share about The Refuge and how this funding is going to help us in the future. The Refuge is a men's addiction recovery program that's based in the Hilltop. We offer 3 ways for men who are trapped by addiction to change their lives. We have a 30-day discovery program based in Lancaster, a year follow-on program that's residential based in the Hilltop and Franklinton, and then long-term recovery housing that is also based on the west side. What this CDBG funding does is it provides much needed funding to a repair that we were not prepared to identify. Like, we were not aware of this more than 18 months ago. It became a crack, and then it became something bigger and bigger and bigger. So this funding has a cascading effect positively for us. One, it allows us to continue to seek to improve our facilities beyond just this one facility that the funding is helping. It also allows us to not have to put our fundraising money towards providing programming, so that our programming will actually be strengthened because of the funding that you guys are providing, which our results are beyond fantastic, so much so that we had to have a third party check our survey results. We did a 3-year survey, and something that really stood out the most to me, 2 things. One, the guys who complete our total 13-month residential programming have a 100% job placement rate, so they have a 100% employment rate once they complete our programming. And the second one is 95% of the men who've completed our program say that they have a 95% increase in trust from those who they care about most. So we're not just repairing individual men's lives, we're repairing their relationships with their families, which then in turn improves their relationship with their employer, their neighborhood, which improves the city. So I appreciate your guys' consideration. Thank you for letting me be here today.
Jeff Mormon from the Finance Fund is here to talk about the Carol Stewart Village Improvements Project located on West Broad Street.
Thank you. Wow. There we go. Thank you, President Pro Tem Brown and Councilmember Bankston, for the opportunity to speak this afternoon. Carol Stewart Village is a 62-unit permanent supportive housing project on the west edge of Franklinton. It was named after Carol Stewart, who was the matriarch of that community and really the lifeblood of so many of the organizations that still exist there. And so it's wonderful to name that project after her. This project is been in operation for 2 years. It is for youth 18 to 24 years old who are coming out of homelessness, most of them from the foster system. A study done in 2018 shows that more than 3,000 youth are at risk or face homelessness every year in Franklin County. So 62 units is a drop in the bucket, but it is a start. So we created this program from two blighted hotels, from 2 blighted hotels on the west edge of Franklinton, removed that blight, and have been operating as this permanent supportive housing project since. The funds requested as part of the CDBG funds are for improvements to the parking lot and the stormwater management, for some beautification components related to what was a pool that was filled in 20 years ago to make that additional green space and garden space, as well as some trash enclosures, and primarily for security around providing steel doors to all 62 apartments, so that it's just one more level of safety and barrier for these residents as they call Carol Stewart Village home. Thank you.
Next, Sherry Neal from the Maroon Arts Group is here to discuss her project to acquire their space on Mount Vernon Avenue in the King Lincoln District.
Good afternoon, President Pro Tem and Councilmember Vice Nick Bankston. My name is Sherry Neal, Board Chair for Maroon Arts Group. Our organization was founded in 2014 with the mission to build and provide a platform for community art and learning centered in the cultivation, celebration, and promotion of Black cultural production in Columbus. We have grown over the years as an organization of creatives, artists, entrepreneurs, and cultural leaders rallying to make a place in Columbus for bold ideas through art. The movement pursuing arts, commerce, and community, which is our Impact Box Park, a distinctive outdoor events venue built in Bronzeville, uses repurposed shipping containers to construct a performance and art gallery. It's the only known shipping container gallery in the Central Ohio area, created and designed for the purpose of stimulating the community through art. There's also our Deliver Black Dreams campaign, a partnership between Maroon Arts Group, the City of Columbus, and the Greater Columbus Arts Council, which uses public art as a launch point for a sustained and future-oriented approach to achieving racial equity in Columbus. This also has a social enterprise component that has significantly funded over 20 Black-led projects in the past 18 months. This backstory is important as we note the importance of cultural production taking a front seat to involve a historic legacy. In 2021, we set out to purchase the York Masons building. For nearly 100 years, the building had played a key role in the area's artistic and cultural life. In early days, it celebrated theater, welcomed dancers, musicians, and the era's most notable entertainers. CDBG dollars will help us complete this purchase of the 4-story, 27,000 square foot York Masons building, saving a historic arts landmark and establishing Maroon Arts Group's first ever permanent home. The location of the building, 1 block from the Impact Box Park, naturally extends our footprint, and in the heart of the King Lincoln Bronzeville, aids public access, contributes to the area's prosperity while maintaining the neighborhood's rich history. At a time of increasing development and gentrification, preserving this history is essential to the Columbus story. Our goal is to sustain the legacy of the York Masons building, preserve the history of the surrounding King Lincoln Bronzeville community, equip Maroon Arts Groups with the resources to achieve even greater impact and uplift Black creativity in Central Ohio. CDBG funding is significant to obtaining this goal. We look forward to the support of the city and council as we make our community more lovable, not just livable. Because what is a city without culture, without art? And indeed, the arts energizes our cities. They add brightness to daily life, spur economic growth, and bind communities. Maroon Arts Group envisions a city where Black creativity, art, and ingenuity is celebrated, a world where we can see dreams realized, and sustaining this edifice will help us take steps towards revitalizing the future and securing that goal. Thank you.
The CDBG budget also includes $420,000 for affordable housing development. Tracy Taylor and Wesley Moore are here to talk about their unique partnership between the Columbus Next Generation Corporation and Our Brothers Keeper. And the CDBG Transitional Housing Project they plan to develop on 5th Avenue.
Councilman Bankston back there. First, I would like to say thank you for all of your support over the years and your continued support. Next Generation has been around for 10 years now. It's been 10 years. We were created by former Mayor Michael Coleman to redevelop and help kind of move some of our urban neighborhoods forward that got left behind in the process. Over the last 10 years, our mission has kind of changed just a little bit. We have done several developments, which you guys are very familiar with, the Linden Fresh Market in Linden. We have the senior affordable housing going up on Cleveland and Myrtle. We started with the Fresh Market on Parsons Avenue, the former bookstore that was on Parsons Avenue, which is now a vegan restaurant. We own several properties on the West Broad Street area, and we're redoing some things over there. We've had the opportunity to grow, and we realized that dealing in certain neighborhoods, you can't just come in and just build new buildings without addressing the social issues. We've had to deal with a lot of those. Poor quality housing, a lot of the drug activity. So we partner with a lot of other nonprofits to help qualify those issues and change them around. We have also worked very strategically with minority contractors, not only to make sure that they are involved with those projects, but we also help them get all of the qualifications that they need in order to participate in getting government money out the door and helping them sustain that and understand how to manage that money. One of the upcoming projects that we have is with Our Brothers Keepers on East 5th Avenue in the Crum Park neighborhood, one of those neighborhoods that's been left behind just a little bit. They own several properties over there, and they have quietly been doing things over there on their own, and particularly helping with the youth and mentoring and dealing with some of the youth that have been picked up recently for stealing the cars. And they are doing an excellent job with that. We want to continue to help them grow. NextGen has partnered with them, and we will be serving as their fiscal management, and we will also serve as the project coordinator, and we're going to do the same process that we did with opening the Linden Market, making sure there's minority participation, making sure that the project stays in line and on budget and that it gets done. And hopefully we'll be doing future projects with them. And I would like to give them a few seconds to introduce themselves so you can get to know these guys.
Thank you very much. My name is Wesley Moore. I represent our Brothers Keepers, and this is my brother, Mark Moore. Like she said, we've been doing for this community for over 5-6 years, and we started purchasing in the houses over there and remodeling and rebuilding them and stuff, and basically started our own affordable housing program. Whatever they came in there with and say what they can afford to pay for the houses, me and my brother agree with it. Some houses 3 bedrooms, we only charge them $350 a month. And we started noticing a lot of kids in the neighborhood would come and work for our business and would sit around after we close, would be sitting at the building sleeping. So we eventually started purchasing the building next door to us and pretty much been housing homeless teens and stuff. And that's when we got with Tracy, and she started helping us with our nonprofit organization and stuff. And like she said, we've been housing a lot of teens, mentoring them, the ones who've been stealing the cars, and we also help them pay back the cars that they damaged to the people that they stole them from. And we also just recently helped 3 of them graduate from high school, having been in school for 9 months. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to reward to help us continue building on for our legacy, for our family, and for our community.
The CDBG budget also includes funding for infrastructure and public facility improvements. We plan on spending $1,550,000 for curbs and sidewalks, which will be administered by the Department of Public Service. And $1 million will also be used for playground improvements and tree installation, and that'll be administered by the Columbus Recreation and Park Department. Both of those projects will be done throughout the city. The last project funded by the city's Community Development Block Grant is for administration and planning, which is currently estimated to cost $624,000 and includes city staffing and contracting costs for the management of the HUD funds.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I want to acknowledge my colleague, Councilmember Emmanuel Remy, who is tuned in virtually and expressed at the beginning how excited he was to see the list of organizations that we have here today. Thank you, Lucy, for your very hard work in getting this hearing together and getting this list of funding to present to council. I want to thank all the presenters, too, for sharing details about the good work you do. We are here to talk about our CDBG budget, but we are able to talk about so much good work happening in the community. So I can't thank each of you enough to a person for being ready to use these dollars on transformational work in whatever corner of the issues or whatever corner of the city that you do your work. So thank you all so much. Up next, we have Deputy Director Hannah Jones from the Department of Development, who will cover the programs. That was what we just went through was our massive list for CDBG, and we are now pivoting to a different part of our HUB partnerships, and Deputy Director Hannah Jones from the Department of Development will help us cover these, particularly the Home Investment Partnership, HOPWA, and ESG. So without further ado, I will let you go through those 3 things, Deputy Director.
Thank you very much, Chair Brown, for the opportunity to present the Department of Development's portion of the 2023 Action Plan. Affordable housing continues to be a high priority for our department. The City of Columbus is dedicated to ensuring that homeowners and tenants are provided with safe and sanitary living conditions throughout our city. The goal is to foster a housing market where every household with a full-time wage earner can obtain housing in the private market, and to effectively supplement the market where we cannot achieve that goal. 2023 home funds are designed to address the affordable housing crisis by preserving and expanding housing options to the public in an effort to increase homeownership opportunities, provide affordable rental housing in the city, and provide gap financing to construct new or rehabilitate existing housing stock. We are proposing to use our home funds portion of the budget as follows. We have $750,000 that is allocated for the CHODO set-aside, CHODO being Community Housing Development Organizations. So this is funding specifically designated to our community development partners. It will assist with the ongoing development of at least 15 affordable rental housing units focused on the South Side and Linden. It will serve households between 50 and 60% AMI. We are also looking at 3 home ownership opportunities in Driving Park and Hilltop that will look at 80% area median income households. We have designated $3,420,000 for a focus on rental housing projects. This will assist with the creation of 300 units affordable at an average rent of 60% of the area median income or less. And we anticipate that at least 12 of those units will be affordable for 50% and below AMI. $135,000 will go to the American Dream Down Payment Initiative. This is our down payment assistance program that is offered citywide, and it will provide down payment assistance to approximately 18 first-time home buyers, all at or below 80% AMI. We have designated $375,000 that will be focused on home ownership projects, and that will help fund 5 homes for households at or below 80%. $325,000 goes for tenant-based rental assistance, which we do in partnership with the Community Shelter Board, and will assist approximately 55 households who would otherwise be faced with homelessness. And then we designate $245,000 for the Community Development Collaborative. This is for their work with our community development partners, but also provides direct operational support to those partners as well. And then there is $400,000 that goes for administration and supporting staff costs. And I'll pause there to see if you have any questions before going into HOPWA. Okay. 2023 marks the first year that the Development of Department will administer the HOPWA program. Funding from HUD increased significantly in 2022, and we anticipate a similar increase in 2023. So in addition to just ramping up our role in this program, the department is currently working to ensure that we are getting these additional resources into the community in a meaningful way. Funding is proposed to be allocated as follows: $1,149,560 for tenant-based rental assistance, $377,642, that is for the short-term rental mortgage and utility assistance program. $471,716, that goes to supportive services for affected households to keep them stable in their housing who are being served through the HOPWA program. $73,948 for the permanent housing placement program, which is really focused on providing first month's rent and security deposit to individuals moving into long-term housing. $133,883 for subrecipient grant administration costs. This is costs to the providers that we contract with so that they have operational support. And then $68,250 for internal staffing support for the grant work and the program manager. And then lastly, we have the Emergency Solutions Grant. This is a federal grant that we provide directly to the Community Shelter Board as our continuum of care partner. We anticipate receiving approximately $600,000 in 2023. This funding goes to support the rapid rehousing and shelter assistance work that CSB does, and we anticipate that it will serve 2,700 people. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thank you so much, Deputy Director Jones. And we are now going to move into the public comment portion of our, am I on track, Lucy, to do that? Good. Want to make sure there wasn't anything we needed to double back to. We are going to move into the public comment portion of our hearing. I know that we have one confirmed virtual resident who will be joining us. Nope, no longer there. Well, do we, any other speaker slips? Okay. Well, I want to remind everyone who is tuned in that you can still, if you missed the opportunity to sign up to speak today, you can still submit public comment. That public comment period remains open until November 28th. And the plan, all of this really good work that has been represented right from the horse's mouth today can be viewed at columbus.gov/finance under the grants management section. And then comments can be submitted to grantsmgmt@columbus.gov. So I want to remind people that they can absolutely avail themselves of that resource. And if any of that is too confusing, you can always just reach out to our office. We can help point you in the right direction and also take your comment. And my email is ecbrown@columbus.gov. We hope to continue receiving feedback on how to best utilize these grants. I am very glad to hear, as a member of council, as a chair of the Finance Committee, I am really glad to hear this plan today outlined, again, straight from the organizations and due to the hard work of our Finance Department. Very encouraging as we move forward into the next step of our annual action plan. Thank you again to our community groups and our departments for their presentations this afternoon. And with that, we will close our hearing for our annual action plan. Thank you all so much.